John, excellent result Friday night. Probably your best display at home in the season and a half. Really pleased?
Yeah, well, we look back. I think we've done really well in the last 4 weeks. I think we've played really well, and I think there's a good buzz in the team, and I think you could see that our movement and our passing and our penetration was very good on Friday night, and we created a lot of chances, and I think overall it was a good display. And we've had a good displays in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it's just important for us to keep it up. And I think another quite obvious, I think our supporters hadn't seen us for a while. I think there was a great buzz in the ground even before the match coming out, and that while it was bank holiday weekend, it was 3,500 people who really behind the team right from the start, and I think it definitely helped. So but overall it was a big 3 points, but roll on Saturday to Sligo.
You mentioned 3 or 4 weeks. It was a month on from the home game in the European. The style of play the team seems to have changed. Is that something you learned in Europe?
No, I think we've been trying to play all the time. As I said before, it can be difficult because when you bring new players in, and the way sometimes opposition teams are set up differently. But there's no doubt you have to control the game, retain the ball, and there's no doubt about that. And you have to pass and move it quicker. And our aim is always to try and do that. But some days it doesn't happen. And but definitely in the last number of weeks, certainly. I think our last 4 performances have been really, really good.
You seem to be going through midfield a lot more than you had been. That's the perception that's out there.
No, I don't think so. I think if you go back and look in lots of our performances, I don't want to go overboard about Friday night. Was certainly a good performance, but I can think back early in the season when there was games when we beat Limerick 5-0, Derry 3-0, Longford came down the park, the bus, and Galway, and we beat them handily. So I think there's, sometimes people get carried away with one performance, thinks that all of a sudden you've changed. We've been working on lots of things. We've always been trying to play, but sometimes it hasn't worked out, or it maybe perception is, and then a lot of people perception wasn't accurate because a lot of people don't watch us that often. They might see the odd game here and there, whereas there's probably only a couple of people like yourselves that are there for most weeks. Look at it, was a good performance, and we've been doing well in the last month, and we just need to drive on.
And really good when you consider John Kavanagh, Gavin Holohan, and Darren Dennehy are out injured.
Yeah, well, I keep saying you need strength in depth, you need competition, and from that point of view it's been important because the guys have come in and have done brilliantly. Been unfortunate particularly for Gavin, because he was in the team for the last number of weeks, and got a nasty injury in Dundalk, and certainly will be out for a month. But at the same time, as I said, we've had options of other players coming in, and they're all biting at the bit to get back in, and Darren and Cav are on the way back, which is good.
Any injuries or anything, John?
Well, Darren and Cav both will miss out this weekend. They're very close to the trained. Cav has trained this week. Darren hasn't. Hopefully next week. And obviously Gavin won't be with us, for about 3 or 4 weeks. But other than that, everyone else is there's a good form. There's a buzz, because they feel that they've been given good performance last number of weeks, and so training has been good, and I suppose, look, we know going to Sligo is always difficult, but at the same time, we play on top form. We believe we can get the 3 points.
Sligo are in a bit of disarray, but that makes them kind of almost dangerous opponents.
It does, and it's weird because it was exact same this time last year. If you remember that when we went up there, they appointed a new manager on the week, and it looks like they're going to appoint a new manager today or tomorrow. So, and when Coleman came in last year, he gave them that lift, and certainly in the last number of weeks, they have been struggling, and they certainly have lacked confidence, and they've been bringing a lot of their local young players through, and the step up is massive. But look, they're due to appoint a new manager who will probably change the team around, so it's very hard to know what to expect. All in Sligo is that it's a real soccer place, a fantastic soccer area, and up there has always been difficult, and for us it's always been difficult. We had a draw last year, we had a draw at the start of the season, but at the same time we're in good form, and I still believe that if we go up there and play with like we've done in the last number of matches, I think certainly we can get the 3 points.
And you'll have to watch it from the terraces as well. How's that going to affect your preparation for the game?
I don't look at it. It's something that it's come up. I've to serve a one game, but to be fair, most of our stuff during the week is done in the training ground. All our tactics, our video analysis done, and obviously then on the day of the match we also have a team meeting before we leave the hotel, and so really it's a bit of a myth. I do very little before a match inside the dressing room, so I don't think the lads will miss me at all. But sometimes you may say at half time if there's switches to be made and stuff like that, but look at the end of the day, Cots will take charge. Billy and Phil are with them, and they're very experienced, and certainly there won't be any excuses if we don't get the result that I wasn't there, so
you were saying last week this is the first time we've been suspended ever, is it?
Yeah, so it's disappointing, but you I'm not happy about it, but can't do anything about it. Just have to move on.
That's with Billy Dennehy's situation. What's the latest, and how's the scenario going to play out for the rest of the season?
Billy came in training yesterday, and he won't be involved at the weekend.
And he's obviously contracted to the club at the end of the season.
Correct.
So he has to fulfil his commitments.
Correct.
That side of things.
Correct.
Yeah.
John, 11 games unbeaten. It's a remarkable record, really. Would you likely keep it intact until the end of the season? There's only 5 or 6 games to go away from home.
But we're not unbeaten. We haven't been unbeaten. We've lost a game. Sorry. Away from home. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Stretch that right through the season.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a bit of history for our club.
Well, I don't know. I think if you look at, I think our results, since the whole turnaround in the last number of years, our results have been very positive. This year they've been, despite the fact that sometimes people expect you to win matches easy. It doesn't work out that way. But in general, our record has been good. We've won nearly all our home games bar one. We've scored more than last year. We've conceded. You're sick of me saying this. We've conceded less than last year. We're on more points at this stage than we were last year, and so is it progress? I would certainly think so. But I suppose I know it's a target for us to stay up challenging at the top and see can we win a trophy and certainly get into Europe, and they're all our targets. Like I don't sort of say do we go through the season being unbeaten, or I don't have that type of a target. We have a target this week that we feel is 3 points. Can we get 3 points? Can we get a clean sheet? You know what I mean? Can we score a few goals? That's but the most important thing is we have to get a result. And
Rory says there could be a bit of a backlash. Remember all the fanfare pre-season with Owen Heary coming in.
Yeah.
Pre-season results to Sligo and everything.
Yeah.
They're on a shocking run. Nobody would have predicted that.
No, it's incredible because if you go back to our pre-season was the exact opposite. We lost at Lowe, we lost at Longford, and we drew at Cove and drew at Waterford, and people are saying, but I suppose I'm around too long to know that pre-season doesn't matter. Guys are getting fit. You're chopping and changing all the time, and I did say at the start of the season, I did think that start of the season it did take us a while to get into our stride, but at the same time we still got results. But it is unusual for Sligo. It's incredible really, because if you look from the outside at the start of the season, they were they brought in a lot of new players. Owen's a young manager, had done well at Bowes, but then again it shows you go to a big club, the pressure is massive, the criticism can be massive, and you have to deal with that. You have to be strong, and
It's like the 4 new signings all made their debuts last week.
Yes, yeah.
Robbie can't play against
Robbie can't play after scoring, in fairness to him, yeah, and he did well. I saw him, he did well, and they brought in Jason Hughes and Zuzi from and obviously they brought Tim Clancy then on loan from, so they still, like if you look at Rovers, they still have, you go back, to their squad, when you look at Brush, Keane, Pears, Clancy, and now Ledwith, obviously Cawley's suspended. He's a good player, but they still have Corker and Critero. Puri looks like he'll probably be back for this weekend, and John Russell looks like he'll be back for this weekend, and he's been a big loss to them because he's an experienced midfielder. But you know, they're Devaney's with them, so they still have a lot of big name players. But you know, it's just hard to get a handle because the last number of weeks, you know, it has been disappointing for them. But you know, when they appoint a new manager this week, I think that'll change things around a bit.
Yeah, the feeling with our own fans seems to be that they seem more confident this year. Are the team kind of picking that up, like that it can be done? The gap is only 6 points.
Well,
Dundalk are not invincible anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, all I can do, I suppose, Billy, is create an atmosphere and a sort of a structure with the management of this club to make us stronger. And maybe you're right. Maybe last year, maybe the team didn't believe. I don't know. I'm not saying that they didn't, because it certainly wouldn't have come from myself. But you know, sometimes maybe the fact that you come out of nowhere, and maybe that you're being constantly criticised, and you're being, you know, people are saying you're not going to win, or you know, you're not good enough, may have an effect on certain players. But yeah, and you know, we got a lot of unfair criticism. But at the same time, look, I suppose it hardens guys up. Maybe some players didn't expect it when we came in that we would be challenging straight away. But I suppose the experience of last year, and I suppose maybe the lads are believing, and their confidence is, they're more confident because they're believing that, you know, they've seen the structures that have been put in place. They've seen that by proper training, hard work, that what can be achieved. And maybe they're, and plus the fact, to be fair as well, we brought in new players who also lifted the quality of the team and have been better. And you know, and I keep saying, even when you bring in recently the two Stevens, you know, I think everyone can see that, you know, Beattie is a really special player. And while Stephen Follen only came on the last day, still the same, he's only 24. You know, he's a lot going for him. He's played a lot of games in this league, and you know, and with Dan and Benno around him, and you know, Darren, you'd expect him to turn into a better player.
Yes. And you wouldn't read too much into the Dogs slip up last night. Team they fielded like was.
No, but no. I to be honest, the League Cup is a funny competition in the sense that, you know, some of the teams put out weaker teams, you know, early on, and we've done that. And I suppose we lost in a penalty shootout to Pats, and you know, but I would still say that probably Dundalk wouldn't have expected to lose, or wouldn't have wanted to have lost, you know, after retaining it, after winning it last year. So look, I think it's making it interesting. And the other side to that, I think, you know, we're also ignoring Rovers, who are well tucked in there, and there's very little said about Rovers, which is unusual, you know. And obviously with Pat Fenton in there, he's kept things quiet this year, but you know, they're still there. And obviously at the weekend with their big match against Pats, that'll be an interesting one as well. And they have to play Dundalk twice if they play us, you know. So there's you know, I still think there'll be points dropped there, here and there, and you just have to be ready on your toes and see to make sure that, well, all we have to do is make sure that we can just make sure to look after ourselves.
Yeah, they have 3 ex-internationals always injured at the moment to come back in. Duff, McPhail and Fahy, and
yeah,
like the work schedule, the game schedule for August is quite heavy for yourselves as well. Yeah. But Rovers away on the 17th, isn't it? Yeah.
No. There's lots of, and there's lots of, you know, between as I keep saying, look at, we were 8 games to go last year, coming out of that loan 2-2, and everyone, the Knock were 8 points ahead, and there was 7 games to go. You know what I mean? And who would have thought that 6 games later we'd have been top of the table? It seemed unrealistic, but so that's what I say. I think there'll be draws, I think there'll be a few losses, and I think this league will go right to the wire. Most important thing for us is that we have a huge game Saturday. You know, a new manager going out in place up there, and we just have to make sure that we look after ourselves, because, as I keep saying, you sort of don't focus on your own games, you're gone.
There has been some discussion recently about the FAI ETB courses, which people would probably know better as the FOSS courses. What are your thoughts on them?
I think they've been a major breakthrough in this country over the last 10-15 years. I think if you go back, even Roy Keane has said that he came through one of those courses. But from our own point of view, you know, to give young players you know, full-time employment, to train 5 days a week, get their mentality right, to do full-time training, because obviously coming out of youth football to step up to senior football is massive, and all those courses are fantastic. And I encourage it, because I know in Cork we have 3. We have one in Carrigaline, one in Blarney, one in Mahon, and you some are geared towards bringing young players through to try and be professional footballers. Others are geared to bring coaches through. But the main thing is it's giving young people an opportunity to sort of experience what full-time training is about and full-time coaching is about. And from my own point of view, and I suppose from the club's point of view, with the amount of players that we've got through it, it's been fantastic. So I'm all in favour and I hope it continues for a long time.
I suppose delighted to get off the match last Friday night.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been nearly 2 years since I scored a competitive league goal, so very happy that one went in, and hopefully there's many more to come.
No, to be fair to yourself as well, you had the whole season out when you were injured, so...
Yeah, the injury didn't help last year, but at the end of the season I got the operation done, and John brought me in training to start to this year, and knuckled down and got back in the team and been coming on from the bench, and the team's playing very well at the moment, and all the lads are flying. I thought the other night that it's the best performance we've seen since the last 2 years, and it's hard to get in, but once I'm called off the bench, hopefully I can come on and make an impact.
Must be great to get the goal, because you had a few chances against the Liverpool squad and they just didn't go in. But
yeah, I've been wondering when it is going to come, and the Liverpool side were very good in fairness. I probably should have scored that one that I brought around the keeper, but it wasn't to be. But there's going to be chances come, and if I can take one, help the team, so I'm happy to do.
And the atmosphere in the team this year, the squad?
Yeah, everyone's buzzing since the break. I think we've come back a lot stronger since after that European game. We've been very good, and all the lads are training hard, and it's been very good around the camp, and we're just looking on now to Saturday.
And were there lessons learned, do you think, from Europe, saw the way other teams play? And
it was a tough one to take. I think we were unlucky over there, and maybe we could have got through, or should have got through. But I think, look at us up in Longford, we played them off the park, scored 4 goals, and scored another 4 the other night. I think the other night in the first half was the best we've seen the lads play, and hopefully we can carry that now into Saturday again against Sligo.
Dan, are you 100% fit now or close to it, you think?
Yeah, I am. Well, training at the start it was tough, but as time goes on, you get your fitness back, and just happy to be coming off the bench and making a bit of an impact. And yeah.
I was going to say, like, psychologically, like, getting that first tackle out of the way or being tackled just must be.
Yeah. After last year, after the operation, I was a bit worried about going into challenges. Went into a challenge up in Rovers and got injured again, hurt it again. But it seems to be all settled down now and don't have any pain with it anymore. Can't feel it, so it's gone out of my head at this stage.
And match sharpness, then, is that something that you can only get during matches, or can you get it at training?
I think you need game time. I think the Liverpool game was perfect for a few of the lads to play. As coming on, the pace is very high. You're blowing, especially me playing out on the right. You need that sharpness, and I think the friendlies do help. The Liverpool friendly helped, and hope John probably has another few lined up.
Danny, I suppose it's just to get game time, is it? See the season out, touch wood, injury free, and
get
as much game time as you can.
Yeah, well, as I said, the way the team's playing at the moment, you can't change anything, can you? After the other night, there's Gav was unlucky to get injured. I think we were playing good with him, but after the other night, it's very hard to get into the team. But when you're called upon off the bench, when there are maybe 10-15 minutes left and you need a goal, that's the time where I'll probably be coming on.
And your old buddy, the killer, he did the job again the other night.
He came on, he saw that last night, he came on and got the winner for Dundalk, but we needn't worry about them, leave them up to their own game. We can only focus on our own.
You've had your fair share of injuries. It must be the most frustrating part of the game, is it? To be you don't have the gym, have a rehab, do this and that, and especially even more so when the team are doing so well.
I think last year when the injury came, I was out with James, our physio there in the Mardyke, and just wasn't getting any better, and then I had the operation at the end of last year, but that seems to all settle it now, and as I said, it's gone out of my head. I can't feel it anymore. It's gone. I'm not thinking of it.
And there's a lot of games left. I mean, there's 12 league games and there's the cup as well, so
yeah, well, I think we're 6 points off them. We can't worry about what they do. We can only do our own game, get the points out there, and come Saturday we need to get 3 points, and then look on to the next game. We needn't be worried about them, so we're only focusing on our games.
The rehab, Danny, was it, how long was it? About 6 months or 7 months? Or?
Well, I was doing the rehab, and then every time I went back training, it was coming out, picking back niggly injuries in it again, and then I was back in, back out. But since the operation, I can't feel a thing.
And again, those hard days, having a win, what gets you through those kind of dark days?
I suppose you just got to keep the head, don't you? All the lads were great to me. They were getting me through it, but just keep the head. And James out in the Mardyke and Grania here as well. The facilities in the Mardyke, and we're up in Santry in Dublin. But as I said, I don't want to be looking back on London. It's well gone. It's been over nearly a year and a half since it happened, so I'm not thinking of that at all.
Just the new additions that have come in, is a big boost at the crucial time of the season.
I think Stephen's been brilliant. Yeah, unbelievable out on the wing with his assist, and he's a very good player.
Good to talk as well.
Yeah. Stephen came on the other night. He played his first game. He done well, I thought, especially with Dan and Benno, and yeah, that's it.
And how do you still have a bit of ambition to go England another go?
Yeah, I'm still only 21, but my priority is to get back in the team here. I'm not going to go anywhere over there unless I play here. So I'm just looking to get back in the team. And yeah, I'm still only 21. So yeah, there's plenty of time.